Hi guys, happy Monday. I'm so excited to jump on live again with you all today. So if you're watching with me live, make sure you say hello. Let me know that you are jumping on. I'm going to share this inside of my group, and if you end up watching the replay, you guys can use hashtag replay and let me know what you thought of the video. So tonight, this evening, whatever time it is for wherever you are at, we are going to be chatting about creating the things that you wish existed. We're going to be talking a little bit about mapping out an offer and kind of what that looks like, how to embody it. I'm not really going to go into like the full deep level. You guys are going to be able to hear my dogs in the background there, hardcore wrestling. But when I first started doing online courses and I first started, creating programs online, I would ask myself, I'm like, what do I wish existed when I was struggling around this? And what was I hoping to be able to create for somebody else? And what do I wish that I had? What did I want to be able to, do in my business? What was going to be able to take me to the next level? And when I did health and fitness coaching, I did the same thing. I'm like, what would have been really helpful for me when I was struggling with this in my health? Or what would have been really helpful for me when I was struggling with this within my mindset, and then transitioning into business, and all the different things. So when I'm launching programs now, I'm asking myself, what are the things that I've learned that have either worked or things that have, hi Sharon, or have, either didn't work, and things that made my business, scale to the next level. What are the mindset stuff that I've been able to learn? Like basically, if I could create the experience that I wish I had and help everybody, like save everybody like years and years of time and energy to be able to do this faster, that's what I was thinking to myself with every offer that I have been able to create. So I'm like, what did I wish exists and how can I bring this to everybody? So it always comes from me learning things. It always comes from me wanting to take my clients into that next level. And so when you're creating an offer, and maybe it's your first offer, maybe it's an offer that you are looking to create, and you're like, I want to make a program around this, but I feel like I'm struggling with how to map it out or how to lay it out. And this is something that this past week, I feel like this was something a lot of my clients were struggling with, so I figured if they were struggling with it and needed some guidance, then I could bring it all to you, to you guys on here, and help you get a little bit more clear on how I do this, how I teach it, and kind of just give you that breakdown. So when I, how I teach this and what I do for myself is when I'm creating an offer, and whether it's something I'm doing for the first time or whether it's like, I would love to make a program I'd love to make a program around this or this, but I'm just not sure how to lay it all out, or how long should it be, all the questions and all of the stuff that we start to go into our head, because we'll start to think, who am I to teach this, or how can I even lay this out? So I allowed myself to, hold on one second here. Perfect. All right. Okay. So what I do first is I get clear on who it is that I'm serving with this specific program. And I get clear on, what are her pain points? What does she be struggling with right now when it comes to this topic? And where would she love to go? Like, what is her desired end result? If she could feel a certain way after going through this program, or being able to have this information, or being able to go through this experience, what is it that she would want to be able to have? So I'm thinking about where she's struggling, where does she want to be able to go, and what's that going to feel like for her? So as women especially, we buy based on emotion. We buy based on being able to see ourselves in that desired end result and where we want to be able to go to this. Like, we want to be able to embody that feeling, and we want to be sold to in a way that feels really good, right? So you're thinking about with your offer, who is it that you're serving, what are they struggling with, and where do they want to be able to go? The second thing is determining, what it is that you're teaching, mentoring, whatever it is that you're doing. So I start to ask myself, what do I wish existed? What are the principles or learnings that were able to get me here? And what can I teach that will be able to help these women? And I start to just brain dump. I'm like, all right, like when it comes to, like my program, Burnout to Sell Out, I'm like, what was I struggling with when it came to launching and creating an offer and selling online? Like, what would have been really, really helpful for me? Or what are some like the mindset things that I was able to shift through? What are some of like the actual, strategic pieces that I wish were maybe a little bit simple, or, simpler, or that looked a certain way, or that I was able to do it this way? And so I started just to brain dump everything that's coming up to me around whatever I was able to transition through, whatever that journey looked like. And so I start to brain dump all of that out. write down everything, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of my massive brain dump. And then I start to create it into either teaching. So sometimes I'll run programs where I do a live video for each training. Sometimes it's more of like a passive program, whatever it looks like. But I start to make it either into modules or weeks that I'm teaching. And then I start to break it down from there into specific training videos. So I'm like, all right, based on all this information that I've just brain dumped, based on, putting out all these different topics, where can I move things along? So, okay, maybe this week is going to be some more mindset stuff, or this week is going to be more on selling, or this week is going to be more on the branding or launching. I start to break it out, and then even from there, I'm going one step deeper. And I'm looking at it and saying, okay, like I could do a whole training around this. Okay, these two topics that are coming up for me, these are maybe shorter. I could possibly combine them or bring them together or tie them in somehow. So the best thing to do is just to start to like brain dump and, ask yourself, like, journal this out too. I encourage this a lot, where you just write down, everything that got you to that point, and everything that helped you be successful, everything that you wish existed, or if you could have had this information, or the things that really changed your life, the things that really allowed you to jump and go into that next level. How do I want to be able to teach it? So I start to like really break it down from there. I move it, this is like a massive like Word document at this point, and I'm just writing, I'm just thinking, and I journal a lot. I'm like, what got me here? Where was I at when I started with this experience, and where did I want to be able to go? What was I hoping for so much? This is going to help you guys when you do this. It's going to help you write your sales copy. It's going to help you create all of your social media posts, because you have the bigger vision then for your program, and you can add things along as you go, and maybe you're going to add in a different training, or you're going to switch things up, but it gives you so much clarity on then what you want to be able to bring to your audience. So then from there, obviously I have to go into like a launch process where I'm putting out social media content to start to get people shifting into that mindset of, whatever of the program that I'm going to be launching. And so all of the information that you just created in your pillars, all of that information that you were just putting out there, that's going to be where you can start to say, okay, like how can I bring these different modules? Let's say you have 5 or 6 modules, for your program. It's a 6-week program. How can you start to bring some of that content to your audience, so then they're like, yes, okay, like I'm ready, this is good information, I want more of this, I want more of this. And so I think it's always really good to come from an abundance place when you're putting out content, rather than a place of lack. I hear sometimes a lot, like in the online space, everyone's like, oh, I don't want to give it all away, or like if I put too much information out there, people are going to be able to buy it. And the answer to that is yes. Like, you put out amazing information on your social media content, people are always going to want more where that came from. They're going to want to dive deeper into it. And so when you have your pillars laid out, or your modules or your trainings or whatever it is, ask yourself, like, what can I teach them that will help get them ready in the mindset, get their mindset ready, or get them thinking about this course that I have coming up. What amazing trainings or live videos can I put out there? So I'll map out each week. So let's say I have 6 modules, and I start saying like, okay, like where would I want somebody to be before they would get into my program, or how is this information going to help my audience be able to start to wrap their mind around this, or to be able to get them some really good, tips or information when it comes to, insert XYZ topic. And I start to put out information like, all right, like maybe if I'm teaching a 3-step process, I'm going to start talking about step 1 on my public pages, and I'm going to be able to bring that information a little bit there. If I'm talking about something mindset related, inside of a program, how can I start to get people thinking on that level? So I start to bring in that information. I'm putting out live videos, I'm putting out trainings, I'm putting out, all the different things, stories, posts, and things like that. And then I'm going even one step further within not just, giving out information and content, but also what stories can I share around these different training pillars that I'm doing inside of my program that would resonate with people, that would resonate, within my own story that connects to my program. So like when I have a program that's coming up, I'm going to shift my branding, because I have multiple pillars to my brand, multiple different things that I teach on. I'm going to start shifting my content a little bit more into that next focus area. So I'll tell stories around, one of those modules. So let's say if it's my program, Burn Out to Sell, I'm just using this as an example because it just ended. The last round just ended a couple weeks ago. But leading up to that, what I was doing was I was talking a lot about my stories around like launching, my fears around selling, being able to create a brand. I was starting to talk about my stories around that. So if you guys are thinking about, okay, if I I know I need to share my story. Start to break it down by some of like the pillars in your program and say, what's a story that I felt around that? What's a story that I experienced around this? And you can start to bring in that content that way, because you're putting out amazing value and content. You're building that know, like, and trust with your audience. You're teaching them some amazing things. You're also sharing your story so they're resonating with you, and you're really starting to cultivate everybody, you know, moving and shifting towards whatever the next thing is that you're going to be launching. So the other thing too that I'm doing as I'm creating this offer, I'm pulling my audience, I'm reaching out, I'm doing market research, I'm starting to collect and see where other people are at in this journey and what they need to be able to get to go to that next level. How can I bring that information to them? How can I teach them? I'm starting to just drop that in a little bit more. And you guys can do this by searching inside a Facebook group. See what other people are posting or struggling with around your topic. Like, go in the search bar and, you know, put that in there and see what starts to pop up. That's what I'm also doing as well. Or I'm pulling the people that are in my audience and pulling people on my Instagram stories. And I'm just starting to see where people are at and how I can guide them into that next level. It's also really good to be able to do that too, because you can use your ideal client's exact language. So if I see somebody in another, you know, group I'm in or in my group struggling with X, Y, and Z, I'm going to literally, you know, take the words of someone that is my ideal client. I'm going to turn that into a live video, or I'm going to end up making that a module, or I'm going to use that language in my sales copy to be able to, you know, to speak to them. It's called listening to your clients. It's called listening to your, you know, the people that are your ideal clients, and really starting to, you know, take note of that. I do this when I'm on sales calls. I do this in my group. I have a whole document that's taking a lot of the things that I've seen people struggling with and asking myself, like, how can I help these women? And when I show up every single day, that's my one purpose. I'm like, how can I help one person today with this? And so what I'm doing is I literally like Google Doc of just tons of things. If people send me a message, if people are on a sales call with me, if people are inside of my programs, like, I'm just listing all this information out, because it's so easy then to be able to take that, help solve a pain point of your clients, and like turn that into a title for a live video, turn that into a podcast, turn that into a program. That's how so many of my programs were created too, is just by listening to my audience and creating things that I knew that would be helpful for me, because we end up attracting a lot of, you know, our past selves as well. So being very clear, we have to kind of go back, you know, sometimes a year, 2 years, even maybe just a couple months, and starting to really get back in touch with who it is that we are and that where we were able to go. And so document the things along the way that are really, really helpful for you in your business, because it might not be something that you teach on right now, but in a year from now, you're going to be like, how did I get from here to here? And if you're not like maybe journaling or documenting some of those things, then you have to like really go back and think about what got me here. So create those things so then you can be able to teach that as well. So pulling your audience, doing market research, saving a Google document with all the things that people are saying that they're struggling with, where they want to be able to go. It's really, really useful for everything from sales copy to content to live video to content, even just for like your Facebook group or your Instagram or anything like that. Then from there, kind of like on a bigger scale, kind of giving you guys a little bit more of like a bigger launch strategy for this video, so double whammy. I'm asking myself, like, what free pieces of content can I create to build this know, like, and trust? And so I'm saying, like, I want to put out like a really good masterclass, you know, for whatever it is that I'm launching next. Or I want to put out a really good free challenge inside of my Facebook group, or a really good email, you know, opt-in, something that's that I can drive traffic to, that's going to be provided with so much value that even if people don't sign up for my course, like, they're gonna feel like they got something amazing out of this. I'm not really into webinars where somebody just sits there and like talks about their story and then goes into the offer. Like, I want to spend time providing so much information and helping people, you know, really start to feel that next transition and feel that next level and take in some good tools and strategies, or, you know, mindset hacks or whatever it is that I'm teaching to go to that next level. So think about, okay, if I want my client to buy this offer, or this is the thing that I'm creating, what would drive traffic into that that's going to be really juicy, very niche specific? Like, you know, I want it to be focused on one thing because I want them to be able to experience a win. I want them to be able to feel like they had an amazing shift from an hour masterclass to a 3-day training from being able to, you know, have this information. So I start thinking about that in itself, and I'm also in that process also thinking about the layout of my program. Is it going to be live? Is it going to be passive? How long do I want this offer, to be able to be? And then diving in even deeper is things like the pricing. If I'm going to run a sales page, really trusting my intuition with that. I'm going to talk about pricing inside of my Facebook group. Probably right after this call, actually. So that's kind of like that deeper level stuff. But when you're starting just to brain dump, think about, what are the things that got me here? What experiences really helped me? What tools or strategies do I want to be able to teach to these people? Start to disseminate that into your content. Start to do that market research. Hi, Lindsay. And be able to just keep diving a little bit deeper. And you guys are going to have this amazing, you're going to have content for literally weeks on end up to your launch by doing that. And you're going to feel very supported, and you're going to notice that the sale becomes a lot easier because you've given so much value, and people feel that trust and they feel that transformation already. And you're showing up as their coach or as their mentor or as their leader before they've even said yes to you. And when you do some of these things that I have been talking about in this training, essentially, that the selling part of it doesn't seem as hard or as weird or as stressful, because you've led people up, you've given them a lot of value, you've given them a lot of support, and they're like, yeah, I'm in. Like, I want more of this. I want to be able to dive deeper on this topic. I want to be able to have the accountability and the support, because at the end of the day, if we just consume videos and podcasts and everything, it's just information just dumped into us. And that integration piece of it really happens when we start to take that investment, or we start to have that accountability, or we have a coach, we have a mentor, we have support. That's the deeper level of transformation. So I come at, the content that I'm putting out, or the information that I'm putting out, from an abundance place, not from a place of like, if I put out all my best stuff, nobody's going to buy it. I put out my best stuff so then that way people can see the transformation. They can start to feel what it's going to be like to be coached by me. They get breakthroughs, they get wins, and then they want to be able to dive into more of that in that space and be able to really integrate it on that next level. So I hope this helped with you guys today. Just kind of thinking about maybe your next offer or your content leading up to an offer. I know it can be really overwhelming to figure out, like, all right, I have this thing, but like, where do I even begin? How do I even start to dive into all of this? What do I begin to do? So I wanted to share that with you, and hopes that it kind of helped you guys get a little bit more clear on that. So I hope you all enjoyed this training. Sharon said, loved hearing the strategy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you guys end up watching the replay, make sure you say hi. And I'm going to be jumping on live inside of Burnout to Breakthrough here in just a few minutes. And we're going to talk about pricing and all of that. So you guys can head over to that community if you want to kind of hear like the part 2 of this. And I'll be inside of there in just a few minutes. All right, goodbye.